Hi guys, okay, we are back with another really awesome tutorial. Today is going to be all about the linked half double crochet stitch. And if you've never tried this and you've been intimidated, we're going to lay that down today because this, after you get it, is a very, very simple and awesome stitch. Okay, the half double crochet is already a super cool stitch, but by linking the stitches together, it's going to create a tighter weave, and it's going to be perfect for things where you want the project to actually be a little denser and have less holes in it. So I'm going to recommend that this is going to be a top stitch for your repertoire for baby blankets because it's going to have less holes in it. But the sky is the limit. You can use this for anything pretty much that you're going to work in back and forth rows. And so I would say typically use a smaller yarn. Of course, this is just my tutorial yarn, so you can see stitches in a bigger, view. But a 5 hook or a 5.5 hook, even a 4 hook, and just practice and play around anything that you want to work in a back and forth row. Okay, so let's get started. All right, this stitch needs to be worked in a multiple of 2 plus 1. So that basically means any even amount of stitch that you want and then add 1. So for today's tutorial, let's go ahead and do 12 stitches plus 1. So put your slip knot on your hook, chain 13, meet me back here. Okay, we've got our 13 stitches, and actually today's tutorial is a bonus because I'm going to be showing you how to work into the back bumps of your foundation chain, okay? So we've got our 13. We're going to skip the first chain next to the hook. Remember, I've told you that's the chain that's pointing diagonally up towards the top of the hook. So turn your work over, skip the first back bump, which is right here, and going into the second back bump of the chain. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. 2 loops on the hook. Go into the next back bump, insert your hook, go ahead and push it on in there, yarn over and pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. That is the first starting linked half double crochet, and everything else will be a little bit different from here. After your first linked half double crochet of every row, you'll do a pattern repeat. So once you get this stitch down, it's going to be very simple for you. So to begin our second stitch, we're going to be looking at these 3 horizontal bars created from our previous stitch, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to insert our hook into that middle bar, yarn over, pull through a loop. 2 loops on the hook. Then we're going to go straight into the next back bump. No yarning over. Go straight in, yarn over, pull up a loop. 3 loops on a hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. And that's what the rest of our stitches in the row will look like. There's our 3 horizontal bars. Go into the middle, yarn underneath, yarn over, pull up a loop. 2 loops on the hook. Go straight into the next back bump of your chain. Yarn over and pull up a loop. 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through 3. Again, resist that urge to yarn over when you're in the second half of the stitch. So going into that middle bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 on the hook, go straight into that next back bump, yarn over, 3 on the hook, pull through all 3, and we will continue this to the end of. Okay, now let's work that last stitch together. And if you have a problem with your work looking sideways, trying to find the horizontal bars, turn your work this way, and then you can count 1, 2, and 3. Going into that middle bar, yarning over and pulling up a loop, 2 on the hook, going into that last stitch, or chain rather, yarn over, pulling up a loop, and pulling through all 3. And this is what round 1 looks like. Isn't that beautiful? I really love this stitch. Now, for round 2 and beyond, it's going to look a little bit different as we start. We're going to be chaining 2 and turning our work. Now, you're going to want to start your linked half double crochet in this turning chain. So not in this loop here, but the first chain from the hook. Go ahead and insert your hook and go ahead and just push it on in there. yarn over and pull up a loop, 2 loops on the hook. And from here on out, we will now be working into the actual half length double crochets. So look for your V, there's your V, go under both loops, pull up a loop, 3 on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Now from here on out, it's just going to be a pattern repeat. There's your 3 bars, insert your hook under the middle bar, yarn over and pull up a loop, 2 on the hook, go into that next stitch, yarn over, 3 on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Very easy once you get it going. Turn your work and look for those 3 bars, insert into the middle bar, yarn over, pull through 1, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 3. Now let's go ahead and work this to the end. And let's go ahead and finish those last 2 stitches together, going through the middle bar. If it gets tight, you just got to wedge it in there, yarn over, pull up a loop, going into the next stitch, yarning over, pulling through all 3. And if you keep your tension looser like this, you're going to have an easier time finding that bar in the middle and then into the last stitch. Whoops, make sure you grab both those loops. You can check by pulling it apart on the top. Yarn over, pulling through all 3. And from here, you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and continue the pattern. And you'll notice as you go along and create rows, you'll have one every other row that'll be just a little bit raised, and it makes a really beautiful pattern. And it's reversible. It looks the same on both sides. Again, when you start working with a smaller hook and smaller yarn, you can play with your tension and tighten this up a little bit so you won't see these holes. I've worked this in a 5.5 and a 4-weight yarn so you can see what it looks like as you get going. It's just a really stunning stitch. And again, if I were to work with this with a 4 hook or a 5, those holes would be even smaller. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Go ahead and start your practicing. And if you like this tutorial, please like and share and follow me on other socials for more tutorials. Thank you. Bye-bye.